Hi friends, it's Queen Alita, and I'm back today with a prophetic message from the Lord. It's really a message that the Lord has been putting on my heart for a long time through a series of dreams. I think some of them I have shared in the past before, but something happened yesterday that was really profound, and he just dropped in my spirit that this is something that he wants people to be aware of, and not to take lightly. So welcome back to the channel if you are a regular subscriber, and for those of you that are new, welcome. I just want to give you a quick disclaimer. I know that those of you that have been watching my videos don't need to hear this part, so you can just fast forward if you just want to get straight to the word. So for those of you that are new, it's important to note that not every prophetic message that I put here is meant for you. That's the first part of it. And the second part is just being able to take it to the Lord, having that relationship with Him where you're able to hear His voice for yourself. Really the main thing is for you to be able to hear Him, for you to be able to have that conversation with Him, and to rely on His voice above all other voices, and not to just rely on everything that I tell you and everything that's said here on YouTube or wherever, because the most important voice really is Him, and the most important relationship really is your relationship with Him. So I really encourage you to take this word back to Him if you feel it resonates in your spirit. And I know that for some of you, this word is going to be confirmation of what He's been sharing with you. So if you have any questions and you want to know more, take it to Him. He will fill in those blanks for you. So this word is not based on a dream. I usually share the dreams that I have, but today, it's just based on what God has been revealing to me in a series of dreams, and just in the way that He's been speaking to me and showing me things. Yesterday I saw the most beautiful piece of artwork, and it was just so striking. It was just so striking. It was just beautiful. I'm not going to describe what it was because there's no point, but it was so beautiful. And the person who had done this, who had created this beautiful work of art, had done it in a matter of 3 weeks on the side. He has some other main things that he's doing, but he had done this on the side in 3 weeks. And I thought to myself, wow, this is something that people would love. I have no doubt about it, that he needs to do this on a larger scale, offer this particular service to people, because I know people would love it. I want to place an order. And he didn't realize that. For him, it was just something that he made as a gift to someone for their birthday. And it was just one of those things. And the Lord just started to speak to me, like, tell him that this is his talent. I know already that he's got very good creative abilities. He's an artist and does a lot of things in the creative space, but I always felt like for him, he hadn't quite found his niche. And I believe with all my heart that this is where his niche is, but he just has to get on that page, and that's going to be between him and God. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because a lot of you have talents that you have pushed to the side, that you kind of maybe do every now and then, when you feel like it, or when you want to give somebody a gift or whatever, and you don't see it as the main thing because of just the way we've been programmed to think, just the way we've been taught to view this world, and what works according to the world, not according to what God is saying to you. So there's like this mental block stopping you from exploring those talents in a way that makes them the main thing. It may seem quite scary to do that because it may feel like a big risk, but here's the thing with the talents that God gives us. He doesn't give them to us for us to just ignore and maybe do them on the side as a hobby. They're not meant to be hobbies. Although I'm not even going to exclude that as an option, because I do think that there is a space and a level for these things to really be therapeutic for us. So sometimes, you may go through seasons where it is a hobby. And I do believe that for some of you, that's a learning phase, or at least a phase of perfecting your gift and your talent, right? So the word talent, I had come across something on the internet years ago, and I could never for the life of me find it again. But the way that this person put it, he obviously, or they, I don't know if it was a man or a woman who wrote it, but they had described the word talent. They had broken it down. I think they had looked at, the root word and the meaning, and they'd broken it down so beautifully that your talent is linked to your income, to money. The word talent talks about the work of your hands and how it's linked to generating income. And we've been taught, right, in the system that we're in, that we should make money in order to survive. But what the Lord has been showing me, and this has been years of him showing me this, and me really getting an understanding of it, is that our aim should never be about making money. We should never do anything with the goal of making money, because that's what lands us in jobs and projects and things that we don't really genuinely love, because we're trying to make money, we're pursuing money. And I know we need money to survive. And I'm saying that because that's what we've been taught. That's the indoctrination, right? We do need money. We got to pay for rent or the mortgage, or we got to buy food. There's so much that we use money for, that things that are necessities. So I get it, and that's why our mindset has been to pursue money. But that's not what it is. Everything that God has given us is linked to, will automatically generate that income when we explore those things and we let them come forth, because we are creative beings. We're very creative. We were created by the creator of everything. We are his children. So we take after our Father, right? We take after the one who created us. And when we genuinely create from a place of love, from a place of just being, flowing with what is inside of us, what God has put inside of us, then it is beautiful to the eye of the beholder. It's attractive, and there's something about it that people want and need. It ministers to people. Your creativity, what you create, will minister to so many. It's not just about creating and then making a beautiful thing. That beauty that you create is healing. It's going to help people, if that makes sense to you. So I want to go back to the word talent really quickly. I did find like the Hebrew root word and the Greek. Let's see, Strong's Concordance. Bear with me. So what I found is that it is a noun, obviously, and it says here, definition of a talent. It is a measure of weight or money. That's the Hebrew. A measure of weight or money. How interesting is it that the way we understand the word talent today is linked to the things that naturally flow out of us? Like, if you're a singer, that's your talent. If you're an artist, that's your talent. If you are a mathematician, your brain just gets it. You can see the formulas and patterns. That's your talent. So how interesting that the word is linked to a measure of weight or money. So there is weight in your talent. Your talent carries a lot of weight. It is a measure of money. So when you pursue your talent and your dreams, genuinely just doing the thing that you love, that comes naturally to you, the money will flow in, because it'll be beautiful to people. It'll minister to people. I know that if this person that I was sharing, I was telling you about earlier, if he takes the time to create more of those beautiful pieces for more people, no doubt, he will make a lot of money. But also understanding that that's not what he's chasing, right? So that's not what we should be chasing, because God will always provide for us no matter what. So I'm not going to go into the Greek because it's pretty much very similar. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much a talent of silver or gold. So the part of scripture that is relevant to this word is Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30. This is the parable of the talents, or the parable of the 3 servants. I'm just going to paraphrase because there's a lot. It's like from 14 to 30. I encourage you to go read it. So this man goes on a long trip. He leaves 3 people. He gives them, what does he give them? Entrusted them with money or talents, depending on what version you're reading. And he gave 5 bags of silver to one, and 2 bags of silver to another, and 1 to the third one, the one with the 5 bags. It says here, the servant who received the 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. He began to invest the money. When you invest in your talent, when you take the time to multiply that which God has given you, because he's given it to you, it's in you, it's confined in you, but when you let it out, you're multiplying it, you're investing. It's flowing out in abundance and it's reaching others, right? It's not just hidden within you. Now, the servant with the 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. So with all the work they did, they got a double portion of what they put out, right? But the servant who received the 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid the master's money. This really struck me, and now I've heard this parable so many times since I was a very young child. I have been in the church for as long as I can remember, okay? So this is one of those stories that I've heard so many times. And today when I read this part with the, how he dug a hole, I was like, man, so many of us have dug holes and hidden our talents. We've dug holes in our hearts. We feel there's nothing that we can do to pursue the talent because it doesn't make economic sense. It doesn't make practical sense. I haven't gone to school to study more, and this is just another excuse that I'm throwing out here. But so many limitations we put in our mind, like, oh well, I should have gotten a degree in this area or whatever. And really, your talent is your talent. If it's in you, it's gonna come out beautiful and it's gonna flow beautifully. And this is why I say that there's a time where you can perfect your skill. Some of you don't even need to perfect it. It just comes out beautiful the way it is. And people are ready to receive it. So don't be, I don't want to say don't be like the servant with the 1 bag of silver and bury it. I'm speaking to all of us who have buried our talents. We've already buried them. It's time to dig them up and invest and get to work and multiply that which God has put inside of us. Nobody is saying that it's going to be an easy road, but you certainly won't feel like you feel being in the wrong place. I used to work in the corporate world. I enjoyed it. It was nice because I love people, so I was surrounded by people. I was in human resources, and that meant that I got to meet a lot of people. And I always, in every company that I worked in, I was never the type of person that blended in. I always stood out, so my name would come up. I was always just where the people were at, and I was a recruiter. Like, that was my main skill. So even working in the corporate environment, I would work with external recruitment agencies, and I would do interviews and meet so many people. And I really perfected that skill. I loved interviewing people. I loved getting to know them, and I could always immediately pick up that, oh, this person would be good for a sales role or whatever. I was really good at reading people. Well, let me say I am really good at reading people and seeing where they fit into an organization. So I'm not going to say I was miserable the whole time, but I always felt like this was not it. I always felt like something was missing. And it got to a point where the whole dream that was being sold to me, power and you're a black woman, you should climb this ladder, this is your time, and I would see people above me, like my managers, doing the thing, strong black women, and I would be like, no, that I don't want that life. I don't want it. It just, the more I saw how they were living, hearing their personal struggles, I was like, this is not what I want. I want to enjoy my life. And the Lord just started to put on my heart that, I'm not going to retire in a corporate environment. So I eventually left. That's a whole different testimony. Oh my goodness, what a way I left. But ever since then, I've just been exploring what God has put in me. And like I said, it's not an easy journey because of how we've been trained to think, and also just the struggles of making an income, right? But I will tell you this one thing: never once have I not eaten, never once have I not had a roof over my head, never once have my children suffered, my family suffered. We have gone through some rough patches, but God has provided at every turn. So for me, it's worth it. I would rather go through those rough patches and grow and learn than stay in an environment that I don't believe in. I don't believe in the dream that was being sold to me. It wasn't for me. I was going to be miserable. I saw how miserable the people above me were, that career path that was paved out for me. And I was like, I don't want to be miserable. So, and I'm not saying that should be your reason. Really, this word is about you taking charge of you, what God has put in you, and taking those steps to exploring those talents. Some of you don't know what your talents are. You have no clue, because that's how deeply buried, that's how deep the hole that you've dug is, and you're going to have to dig up that hole. And it's not that everybody is an artist or a singer. I keep referring to those things because that's kind of my realm, and I still have to explore some things that I've been afraid to explore, because this is a video for another day. Fear holding you back from exploring your talents. So I know that I'm an artistic person, and I know that what I love to do the most is sing. I feel like I'm one with God when I sing. It's my most happiest state. I don't feel like I'm working or striving. There's peace. It's the most beautiful feeling. So I know that that's a talent God has given me, and I had buried it so deep, and the Lord was the one who had to pull and extract that, and he's still working on that, right? So know that this is a journey. If you haven't started the journey already, some of you are already on that path, but those of you that have dug that hole, who don't even have a clue what your talent is, like I said, it doesn't have to be artistic like me. It's anything. It could be anything. You could be the scientist that we've all been waiting for, who can link the spiritual with the science in a way that nobody has done before, but we're all waiting for you. It's whatever God has put in you. Yeah, so really take some time. Be willing. That's all God asks for. If you are willing, God can change your life. He can do anything, but you have to be willing. And I love that word. Being willing is like a surrender thing. Surrendering your will for his will. That's how I understand willingness. So That's the word for today, friends. I really pray it's blessed whoever it is for, and I'll see you in the next video. Always remember that God is a good Father. He loves you so deeply, so deeply, because you, my friend, are so deeply special to Him. I know this is victory.